Hello, my dear friends. It's yet again another episode of Tidbits of Tasty Tuesday. Today I'm doing the episode in the evening for a very good reason. Your day has been long, just like mine. It's been a busy one. And maybe you're asking yourself, what did I do? Where did I go wrong? Where did I go right? In an earlier episode, where I talked about getting better in your business again, I mentioned 3 things that you need to do to get better in your business again. 3 things. And that is writing a business plan or planning your business, pitching your business, and getting a mentor. After discussing this with a few friends of mine, we decided that instead of going straight to pitching the business, last week we did planning your business. We decided that instead of going to pitching the business, most of people wanted to know or voted that we should have the topic on get a mentor. How to get a mentor? Who is a mentor? Why do I need one? Those were the main questions that I was getting. And without knowing, most of these people have actually been coming to me as their mentor, but they did not know that actually I am a mentor to them. Which, just different words used for different people. I would want to say a mentor is that person who is willing to give their time, willing to give their skill, willing to give their talent, willing to share their experience with someone who has a desire to grow their business. And in this case, I'm actually focusing on only business mentorship. Now the mentorship that I'm talking about is actually a relationship. So we're talking of a professional relationship that is between the person who needs help or who needs to be guided and a person who has experience, who is willing to share their experience, their skill, their knowledge, their talent with a person who is new or trying to get around this area in their businesses. So a few things that I noticed that we needed to address, and maybe a question that has been coming up quite often in the hub where I spend most of my time, an innovation hub here in Mombasa where I spend most of my time. The main question that has been coming up is, if mentorship is all that, if mentorship is having this person who has the experience work with me, guide me in my business, why is it that there are people who still don't have mentors? Why is it that there are people who ignore or actually seem to do so well without a mentor, or look like they're doing well actually? And I said, that I could say about 5 things about that, why we have people who do not have mentors, who do not want or who do not have someone to guide them in the new area of business. Some of them is that some people are shy. That's the main reason I've actually been coming across at the hub. That some people are shy or afraid to ask for help. They know that they're going through a tough situation. They know that in this business they're actually suffering. They're not making profits. They're actually losing. They're losing clients. They're losing profits, and they're shy to say it. They're shy. They're afraid that if they say anything, someone is going to laugh at them. Someone is going to call them fools. So this is one reason as to why people do not have mentors. So they keep off. They shun off any advice. They shun off asking questions. The other reason is that some people are just proud. There are people who are just too proud to admit that they have a problem. And that is not shyness. Because every time you try to approach them, even as a mentor, some people that have tried to approach you simply tell me, like, I'll figure it out on my own. I just don't understand how that works, but I've seen quite a number of such people. That kind of people that I've come across are people who lack the understanding. They don't understand that they need a mentor. So they kind of wallow in the mucky mud and somehow they're stuck. They're trying to figure out on their own. They don't understand that they could actually ask that question. They don't actually think it's anybody else's business other than themselves. A fourth type of person that I've come across are people who, the fourth kind of people that I've come across are people who are just too busy. They are too busy to squeeze off just a few more minutes to go around and ask questions. Their schedules are so tight, and most of them, sorry to say, are mothers just like me. People who have quite busy schedules that they don't see how they're going to be able to squeeze yet another minute for someone else just to ask a question. And the fifth, and maybe this is a common thing that I'm actually seeing in especially people who are very bright, are people who are lone rangers. They prefer to do it themselves. It's not about the pride, but they are humble about it and they want to just figured it out on their own, and sometimes they fail and sometimes they figure it out. It's just a common thing, and to such people, I'm not sure that there's so much of help you can give to them. And maybe we shouldn't get offended when they don't take our ideas or our suggestions as mentors. So the question is, are you really interested in getting a mentor? Do you think you actually need a mentor? Now, when I said when I recorded getting better at your business again, the main question, the third idea on getting a mentor, or the third suggestion I gave was getting a mentor. So the question is, having had the 5 points that I've given out right now, the question is, do you really need, or are you really in need of a mentor? Are you interested in sharing out, the hiccups you're experiencing, so that someone can hold your hand and walk with you? Now, if you really are, I would suggest 5 things, a 5-bit process. And this process is going to be something that I know for sure that you can actually think about it and prepare to do it. The first thing and the first step is about yourself. The self. And you're wondering, what about the self? Who are you? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are the things that you know you can do and you can be very good at, but you need a bit of a push? Personally, it was record keeping. I know I'm very good in making conversations. I know I can make a sale, but when it comes to keeping a record, I need a push. The other area is when you get to understand yourself is knowing your weaknesses. Are there weaknesses that you've been able to identify? Are there those that you're willing to give up, such that if you get a push, you know that you can overcome? Are there those that are so much of a weakness that even with a push, you're not willing to go there? I call them the no-go zone. For example, this is not in business, but I'm completely uncomfortable with issues of swimming. I've tried swimming, but if you get me to the diving board, I'm scared, and I would prefer not going there. I'd want to do anything else but in the water, but not diving. So for me, swimming gets to a certain limit. And even in business, there are people who are in business and they have that limitation, and they feel that, I'm willing to go this far, but the rest of it, let me just stay at the shallow end. Let me just do this far. So you need to be able to know yourself that well. You know your strengths, your weaknesses, your yes go zone and your no go zones. The second thing, or the second step, is targeting the right person, or targeting the mentor, the target mentor. Now that you know that this is someone who has the skills, a talent, an experience in the area that you're so much interested in, the question now becomes, do they have admirable traits that you're willing to go for? Things that you really like about them. For example, I admire people who close deals really fast, because I'm wondering, okay, while it's taken me hours to go through the whole situation, to go through a negotiation, why is it I'm not closing the deal? And I admire people who pull out this confidence, and at the end of the day they've made a sale, and I'm thinking, like, you made a sale that fast? And I have friends who do that, who are very quick in that. So to me, such people will mentor me in that area. So for a target mentor, I look for people who have admirable traits that I admire, things about them that I like, things about them that I desire to have. Then I ask myself, are they physically available, or can they be available for me on phone? Because this is what you consider in a target mentor. Are they physically available? Will you be able to meet with them? Then again, if you won't be able to meet with them, are you able to make phone calls, and they can create time for you to have that phone call and have a discussion? Because remember, mentorship is a relationship. And if that's not possible, then I would say, are you able to access materials that they have created? For example, a book, maybe a YouTube channel, maybe they've created CDs, audios, and DVDs that you can buy and listen to them. Well, you may not have a complete close relationship with them, but you could buy something from that. You could get something from that, from the material that they've created. Now, having noted down the target mentor, then the third thing that you'll be looking at is going actually to request a meeting with them. And now this is the hairiest part of it, because now this is someone who's already achieved. This is someone who maybe you saw them fail in a business and then they've risen up and you're wondering, wow, okay, I'm right down there, I've hit rock bottom and I need to rise like this guy. And you're wondering, okay, fine, how do I walk up to them and tell them, you know what, I've had ABCD about you, or I've read ABCD about you, and I would really appreciate if you would mentor me. I'm in this situation and I'd want to climb up. Or I'm in this situation, and I'd want to just at least get my head out of the mud. And with this, you actually have to make the physical contact, or at least make a phone call, write an email, follow them up until you can get either a yes, I'm available, or no, I'm sorry, I'm not available. And sometimes asking this big question, asking someone whether they'll mentor you, is really hard. But look at it this way. Would you rather die in pain or watch your business go down on fire versus calling someone to help you? You see, your success is tied down to that question. When you walk up to someone and tell them, you know what, I wish you could help me. I wish you could mentor me. And sometimes it may involve money, because some of those people are actually doing mentorship as a business. So they may actually put a price to it. So the question is, are you willing to go there? And I say the power of your success is tied down to that question, and unfortunately it is only you who can unlock it. The mentor may not be able to come to you because they do not know where it hurts. They do not know which part of your business is actually killing you, or that is making you have sleepless nights. So you have to gather the courage to walk up to them and ask that question, request for that meeting. Now, depending on what you get, we go to the fourth step, which is the task, getting into the task. And that is, now that the person have said yes, assuming that they said yes, they're available and they've given you their terms, the task here becomes following up with the scheduled meetings. I know I've done mentorship for quite a bit now. I have a group for a third time that I'm doing mentorship with, and I meet 2 or 3 of them at a go. And some of them will come in because they've been called, not because they have the desire to be there. And at times it hurts me to see that this person has a need, but because they've chosen not to ask the question, unfortunately I wouldn't magically know what to say to them. So mostly I'll ask them a question, how is your business going? And they go like, fine. So have you made a sale of late? Yes. And at times you can see that they're actually not making it, but you see, it's not in the place of a mentor to push the mentee to say something. I can only ask you the right questions, and then you have to meet me halfway. I can give you my whole 100, but you need to be able to come in the other 100. And this is usually the bigger part, where the mentee is not committed to the task of coming to meet the mentor. It is sad. It's a very uncomfortable situation. However, the mentor will not even be able to schedule the meeting, because for them, they expect you to be willing to schedule that meeting. Personally, I don't schedule the meetings with my mentees. I expect them to do that, and expect them to call me and say, hey, we agreed to meet on Friday. Are you still available? Why? Because that shows me that they are really, really interested in these sessions. If I've got to keep calling a mentee, then it would show that I'm the one pushing for it, and maybe they're not interested anymore. So if really you are given a yes by the target mentor, if they agreed to meet you, then maybe it is up to you now to follow up the rest of the step. Now, in the event that they said no, you still got a chance to go ahead and ask, check another one. Why? You don't only need one mentor. You can have as many mentors depending on different situations. You can have one helping you keep up the records. You can have another one helping you in the sales area. You can have another one, helping you in the development of your business, progressing your business. So you can have as many mentors. Mentors are available, but you need to keep checking out. You got to keep asking the question. And then the final step is actually being able to measure progress. Right now you must be wondering, okay, after how long? After how long do I know that I'm making progress? Personally, with my mentor, I prefer to do it quarterly. That, I look at my year and I say, okay, every 3 months, I will review what I've done, and I'll look at my attitudes, my habits, the progress in my business and I ask myself, have I progressed? Is the mentor's input visible? Because you see, even my mentor needs to be aware that I'm actually progressing. In the event that I'm not progressing, then it becomes questionable why I'm even going through this mentorship. Something personal or in the business must be changing. Personally, I would say the main area that I've seen happening for me with my mentor, the more we meet, is that I'm able to connect with more mentees. I'm able to connect to make more speeches. I'm able to connect with more clients. And I ask this question to my mentees when we meet. I have a program that goes through. We go through 7 months with mentees where we meet once a month. And by the 3rd month, I ask them, tell me, what's the difference? What's the main difference between the time we met past and now? And if one of them can give a point, we will work on that point and see where they were and where they are now. Now ask yourself, if you're really interested in getting a mentor, are you willing to go through these 5 steps? Are you willing to find out who you really are? Are you willing to do a research on the target mentors, people who you're willing to connect with, who you're willing to seek help from? Are you willing to request for a meeting? Are you willing to get into the task of following up with the scheduled meetings? And then are you willing to measure the progress? With those 5 steps, I believe that if you really are interested in getting a mentor, you will surely get one. Remember, a mentor will stick around only if they figure out or if they can see evidently that you're interested and that you're benefiting. If they're pushing you, it shows that there's a weakness on your side. If you're pushing them, it shows that you're hungry. And the good thing with being hungry is that you're able to ask questions and you're able to get feedback and you're able to work on them and you're able to grow. Now that is the end of our session today of Get a Mentor on this episode of Tidbits of Tasty Tuesdays. I hope to see you next Tuesday, and I hope we get to share more on getting a mentor. Unfortunately, next Tuesday I will do an extended part of this, the role of a mentor, so that now we can go to pitching the business. Thank you very much and have a good evening. Bye.